And we're live. Hello and welcome to the HEALcast. My name is Bobby. I am here joined by my awesome co-host Morgan. Morgan, say hey.
Hello.
And we are joined by my good friend Michael Warcola. Mike, if you want to just take it away and tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do here at Penn State, what's your major, that sort of fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, my name is Michael Warcola. I'm a junior. I'm a advertising major and a psychology minor. Um, I don't know what else is interesting about me.
Your involvement in Thon.
Yes. Oh, yes. This previous year I was a public relations captain on the media relations team for Thon 2021, and then my freshman and sophomore year, I was a dance relations committee member.
Who was your captain last year?
So my freshman year was Monica Huber, love Monica,
Okay.
and my sophomore year was Maggie Straub.
Nice. Okay, so Monica's sister Corinne was in my committee last year, and my captain was Max. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know Corinne.
Small
Corinne's
world.
great.
Monica is now dating.
Tim Seidel.
Yes.
Yep.
I only know that because of Corinne. I don't know Tim though.
No,
DR's
they're
its
great.
own little family. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
is.
family would be the nice way to put it. I
Yeah.
mean, it
Cool.
also gets, we all kind of commingle. I mean, I didn't do dance relations this year, but I feel like it becomes kind of a, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
It's a big happy family. I mean, there's
is.
what 700 people that end up on dance relations
Something
as
like
committee
that.
members. So yeah, but it's cool. They form different families between we'll say families. They form families within committees because it's truly like a great bonding experience throughout the
Little
year.
cohorts, if you will.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so can you tell us how you and Bobby are friends?
Me and Bobby, we go way back.
Way back.
Super far back. Probably, I don't know, elementary school?
What,
Middle school?
fifth grade?
Fifth
Where you
grade. I think
from?
we're in
I think it was fifth grade.
Where are
yeah.
you from?
We're from little town 30 minutes north of Pittsburgh called Cranberry Township.
Yeah, it's been mentioned
Humble
many
beginnings.
times.
I knew that, but I just wanted everyone else to know that.
Oh yeah. That was great.
Um,
Me and Bobby, we hang out. We play Super Smash Bros. Growing up.
Yes, we did. Mike
Yeah.
was the only one who could give me a run for my money.
I mean,
Everyone else we knew was pretty bad, but Mike, he knows what's up. So
I appreciate that.
yeah.
Then we went on to high school. We're both in the High School Musical together.
Yes.
Both did chorus together.
Yes.
Look at us now.
We're
So not-
artsy kids.
Your musical wasn't High School Musical, but you were in
Unfortunately, it was
the
not.
High School Musical.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah. Bobby was in musical longer than me.
Yeah.
So what? Freshman year was
The Addams Family. Sophomore year was Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Junior year was Legally Blonde, and then senior year was Tarzan.
So fun fact, we were all in high school in the same years. And
Yes.
within the 4 years that I was at my high school, I wasn't in the musical, but two of ours were Legally Blonde and the Addams Family. So isn't that kind of
There you
funny?
go.
that
wow,
we did
small
the
world.
same one?
Just the years the rights become available, I think.
Probably.
Usually how the directors do them.
I think we did Legally Blonde my sophomore year, and then Addams Family was my senior year, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, Legally Blonde was kind of fun to do the bend and snap. I just watched that movie the other day.
Yeah.
It's trending on Netflix.
Oh, of course.
It kills. So, Mike, we're just going to jump right into it. How did you get involved with Thon? I mean, I know, of course, but for everyone else, how did you end up doing Thon?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was 14 years old, my senior was my sister was a senior.
My senior was a sister.
I hate when that happens. I hate when my senior's a sister.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so my sister was a senior at Penn State. She was a dance relations captain before it was called dance relations. It used to be called morale. So there was the last year that she was a student at Penn State, her senior year. She was a morale captain, specifically like the dancer wellness captain. So she was the one who would perform the line dance almost every hour. So like for me, I was like, my sister always told me about Thon. And then my family decided to drive up to State College in February of 2014, and it was just the coolest thing to see my sister on a stage performing the line dance in front of thousands of people and them all mimicking her movements and saying the same words that she was saying. Like, that was so cool. But even just the environment of Thon, like, it's like we all know, it's remarkable. You can't really describe it in words. And that like really resonated with me. And I, more than anything, that inspired me to want to go to Penn State. So like all throughout high school, I was like, I need to go to Penn State and I want to be involved with Thon. Then I got in, and then, like I said, my freshman year, I ended up on a DR committee, which was amazing. And then I decided to do dance relations again my sophomore year. Both fantastic years. Made some fantastic friends through both the committees. And then kind of going into this past year, I was like inspired by my captains and like conversations I had with like my friends that I've made on different committees. And I felt that I was ready to, maybe apply for a captain position. And so I ended up getting one, which is cool. And I ended up on media relations, which was really cool, like working in like a little team. So there were 5 other captains, including well, 6 of us total. And it was so cool, like just writing different pitches about Thon. Like we each got assigned different local outlets within like State College. So working with those and like being a advertising major also, it was like cool experience that like I'll get to use and whenever I work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's some relative work experience right there. Can you just kind of go into a little bit? I really don't like what does PR really do? Like you don't hear a lot about it. Everyone hears about the OPPs, the R&Rs, the DR, but like what's media relations
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What do you guys
Yeah,
do?
PR is really cool. Everyone, and like I felt so like out of place being on PR because everyone on PR is just like so creative and so cool. Um,
Yeah, and you're neither of those things, Mike. So,
oh,
man,
come on.
what did they do picking you up?
No, but so there's kind of like PR, they kind of do a lot of like cool creative things um like there's graphic design, there's production. So PR puts together like the recap every year, which is awesome. There's photography, so they take all the pictures throughout the
Photog.
year. And then there's like the more logistical side, like media relations, where um, we're sending a lot of emails, we're reaching out to different outlets. We come up with dream outlets that we're shooting for the stars for to try and um, get Thon covered by. Um, yeah, it's just really great. I love my experience on PR. Um, wouldn't change it for the world.
Okay, I'm raising my hand like I'm in class. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good, Morgan. You just
Getting what a podcast is, and then I host it, co-host it. Yes, Bobby.
yeah. What's up?
My question for you is I being on dance relations last year, PR came and talked to us about if our dancer was interviewed and things like that. And one of the things that they mentioned was the wording that you use to talk about Thon. And like the thing I think that I've noticed now that I heard about it, and I don't know if you had involvement in this year, but like you don't call it pediatric cancer anymore. It's called childhood cancer. So like what's like the psychology behind that for like the consumer who I don't know if we should be considered consumers, but the person who receives your advertisement or your wording or your email, and kind of how do you go into that trying to change up the words that maybe used to be used that we kind of have moved on from.
Yeah, so there's like this was definitely something that we talked about, like making sure the Thon phrasing was like upholding Thon's integrity. Like you mentioned one of them being like childhood cancer. I'm not sure about like maybe psychology of it all, but
Yeah.
like at least we think we do for the kids. And so the kids are what should be focused on, not really their like whenever we and there's many different forms of cancer also. So childhood cancer just kind of
Encompasses it.
yeah encompasses it. I guess some other things come to mind, like talking about, like we refer to Hershey Medical Center, and then I'm kind of blanking now. There's other ones too, but there is a sheet somewhere that I have saved in my computer that has uh, all the correct Thon phrasing. But it was interesting to get to see that, because I've always like heard about it, and obviously like just being a Thon volunteer. But like one, I guess, quirky example, like I sent a lot of emails, especially like February this past year.
Yeah.
And so like we like end every email with like FTK for the kids, like my name. But so FTK is registered, so it has to have the registered symbol next to it. And Thon is trademarked. So like you're speaking about Thon, it'd have like a trademark logo or trademark insignia, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
So you had to memorize those shortcuts to put them in, or did you just have them
yes.
saved?
No, it was Command R
Command
for
R.
episode. And then I didn't configure one for trademark, so I had to go into like Microsoft Word and like copy and paste
The
a
drop
trademark
down.
symbol.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
That's awesome.
That's
Things
funny.
I would never think of.
Yeah.
Oh, also fun fact is Gil Sans MT is Thon's like font. So like you look at
Oh.
like Thon text, it's always in Gil Sans MT.
I'm gonna
And
start using that for the podcast descriptions.
Oh,
you should have
perfect.
also, you guys should have submitted your like applications in that font.
That's
Oh,
true.
we
I
should
did
have.
type mine. I did type my application in Gil
Gil
Sans,
Sans,
because
yeah.
it's I guess the
Brain.
psychology behind that, how that gets me working and thinking about Thon.
Yeah. So if there's like an email that gets sent out from, like, last year it was Katie Solomon and the girl, the name of the director this year I'm blanking on, it's Kate, I don't know what her last
Kate
name is.
Colgan.
Kate
Thank you.
Colgan.
If something gets sent out from one of them, so let's just use last year as an example. If Katie Solomon's sending an email to all of Thon addressing something, does that get reviewed by PR? Like, do you, and I don't know if it's you or if it's your director, like, does someone get involved in that, or is it basically just her drafting that and kind of it getting sent? Like, what's the process?
Like an event of like Katie Solomon sending out an email. I mean, she's the top dog. She's media trained. She knows what should and shouldn't be said and the correct phrasing better than
Yeah.
anybody.
Okay.
And so I think like whenever directors are picked, I think it's a priority to make sure that everyone's media trained. So knowing the correct wording. There were times that we would maybe have to review
Mm-hmm.
emails. We would send out like media alerts for like the 5K, like 100 days, Dream Forward campaign, whatnot. But for the most part, like the PR director, who was Sam Kuhn last year, she would like the bigger things, like national outlets, reaching out to bigger outlets. Those were covered a lot by the PR director.
Got it. Neat. And you talked about your shoot for the star media coverage. Can you share like some of the people who you were really trying, or if you can, that's okay.
Yeah, well,
Big names.
unfortunately didn't get picked up, but like we all in the beginning of the year, like what's something that you would like love to see Thon covered by?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I was like 60 minutes. Like 60 minutes I think would be really cool.
That
And I
would
think
be
it like
awesome.
makes
That's
sense
sick.
too. Like they have the little segments. Obviously this year it was hard, and I wonder if that's why it didn't really gain any traction, because they couldn't really cover anything in person, or so who knows. I put in my final report for my predecessor or my successor to read, to try and keep that going, because I think that's awesome. But each person on media relations like each had their own, like New York Times, Good Morning America, whatnot.
Well, that's so cool, because if one of those hits, it's huge, right? Like if you get, even if it's just Good Morning America or just New York Times or just 60 Minutes, like the exposure you get from that is massive. So
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
you
And
guys are
even
thinking the right way.
if it happens during that weekend and you can like link send people the right direction, like think about the people who would see that and just be like, I'm going to donate, you know what I mean? Or whatever. That would be huge. And not that it's just about the donations, but yeah, that would be a huge impact on fun. And you know what I think would be fun? Maybe this could be the next person's, and I don't know the exact logistics of it. A 30 for 30 would be awesome if they could follow like one person. Like if it could be like a director, or like if you wanted to go like and follow a Thon child who is comfortable with it and like go through that and then like highlight Thon in that 30 for 30, that would be
It's a
awesome.
great idea.
There
So
you go.
maybe someone listening, if the 3 people that listen, maybe they'll be a PR captain next year, and
All 3 of them
maybe
got it.
they'll use that. So there's my 2 cents on that.
Morgan, maybe you'll be a PR captain next year. Who knows?
Oh yeah, with the application that I submitted, that'll
Yeah.
definitely.
Hey, there's always fall.
Hey, there's fall applications.
When were the spring ones due? Today or something?
5 p.m. today, I believe.
Yeah, an hour and 35 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh well, shoot. Maybe they'll make an exception for
Yeah,
my
you might be a little late.
rising star, my rising moment.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I have one suggestion. It's 30 for 30, and that is all.
That is
Thank
it.
you
That's
so much
all
for
I have to
taking my
contribute to Thon.
break.
Nothing else.
So nice to see you all. Thanks. Bye.
Right.
Too funny.
That'd be a heck of an interview if you got it with
Oh
that
my
application.
Yeah. They'd be like, oh, everyone else who like you get picked with, they'd be like, oh, like so what'd you talk about? And I'd be like, just the one thing.
That's it. My application was 14 words.
Yeah.
I didn't fill out any other sections.
3430.
Yeah. 34.
Yeah, seriously.
I didn't
Two
even.
numbers, one word.
Honestly, the fact that they were able to call me and get my contact info was insane because I didn't even put that in there. It was nothing else. It's just blank.
Yeah, seriously. That's so funny.
All right, back out of the rabbit hole. So you were on DR for 2 years, and then you hopped into your role as a captain in PR. How do you feel that, like, how did your DR experience influence your media relations?
Yeah. So kind of like I wanted to like absolutely loved, wouldn't change it for the world. Absolutely loved my experience on Dancer Relations.
He loved it.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
I think you might have liked it.
Put it lightly, I loved it. No, but I was interested to see like, different like how Thon works in a different light. Just because, like whenever my sister was here, she always did morale, which is DR, and then my first 2 years I was just DR. So I really just wanted to see, what awesome things happen for Thon in different committees. And like I said before, PR was really intriguing to me because I've like had friends that have been on in the past and they love their experience. Plus it kind of falls in line with things I want to do in the future. So yeah, but
You want to
definitely
do it in
like,
the future.
yeah, definitely want to like want to have a bigger role in the Thon community, like after being a CM, and being influenced by like how influential my captains were for me, and want to emulate that in a captain role, even though I didn't have CMs last year, but still just like working with co-captains was a really awesome experience.
Yeah. Awesome. And it's important to mention that, Thon is the largest student-run philanthropy in the world, so there are a lot of moving parts behind the scenes. It's not just like 20 of us in a room, like figuring everything out. There's like hundreds of people doing this stuff. Something I never realized until like, honestly, I probably should have realized it freshman year, but I didn't until I was like a sophomore, that there are captains without committees. Because not every role that needs to be filled by a captain needs committee members.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy how many different sides of Thon there are. And I agree, it's awesome. You mean we're here for 4 years. Why not experience as much as you can? So, big ups
Yeah,
to you for being able to step out of your comfort zone from DR and hit
Thank
PR.
you. Yeah. One thing I thought of like interesting aspect of Thon, or just past year, like being on PR. So like Thon weekend, it was a lot of like facilitating interviews that like we would get a lot of emails coming in of all these outlets. And then we each had different outlets. Mine was Onward State. So they reached out to me, sent me a list of all the dancers that they were interested to interview, like what kind of stories they were looking to go for. And so it was great experience, like scheduling those interviews, like facilitating them, making sure they're like upholding Thon's integrity, and then like seeing those be like published on weekend and after Thon weekend was really cool.
And what did those interviews look like? Obviously, we were not all able to be together. So were those on Zoom this year, or were those phone calls?
Yeah, so it was a mix. It was mostly on Zoom.
Yeah.
I throughout like the week before Thon and Thon weekend, I probably completed close to, it was over like 30 interviews with with dancers, with volunteers, captains,
Yeah.
committee members, but also families, because I was actually the family relations liaison on PR.
Okay.
So I got to interview, or I didn't get to interview, but I was facilitating interviews with some families, and that's so cool just to hear how their lives have been touched by Thon, like in not an intimate setting because it's through a Zoom screen, but
As intimate
like,
as you can get, right?
yeah, just like there's only a couple other people in the call, so it's like they're telling this to me. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like I'm worthy of you to tell me about your amazing experience with Thon. And yeah, it's just made my appreciation for the organization. It's just grown a lot since then, and I had a tremendous experience.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
Bobby, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I was just gonna say. Obviously, I don't know if you're aware, Mike, but there was a bit of a virus going around this year. So
Oh, really?
Was there?
yeah, there was. I know, very
Like
surprising.
one you get on your computer?
No,
Like a virus on
I
your
think it
computer?
was like a biological one,
Oh.
pathogenic even. I digress.
How big was it? How big?
You know what? I think it had something to do with Thon, and it might have made Thon look a little bit different this year than most years. So if you could
just
just
said that the virus had to do with Thon.
well, it had to do with the state of the world, but the state of the world might have affected Thon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was no causation or correlation to Thon. Again, I digress. My favorite phrase ever. How, and if you don't know, it's fine. But how does PR normally look when we're all hanging out in the BJC? What is Thon weekend like on PR?
Yeah, so I
Usually, versus
know.
how it was this time.
Do you know?
Yeah, if you know, and
Yeah.
if you don't, it's cool.
No, I know, at least for like from a media relations perspective. Like I got to read my predecessor's final report, and obviously Thon 2020 was in person. So
Really?
her whole final report was about her experience Thon weekend. So basically it looked like it was very similar to, not very similar, but it was along the same lines of communicating with outlets, but like it was more so like outlets wanted to get onto the floor to interview dancers and volunteers, and so there's a whole process for like security and like pairing each reporter that wants to come on the floor, pairing them up with either a PRCM or a DRCM, to facilitate interviews, which kind of worked the same way. So we still facilitated the interviews, but it was maybe a little more organized that way because we had like a schedule that we were all adding to, like with Zoom links, and we could also have our notes right next to it, like looking for things that we hope are included, to hope that aren't included, whatnot. Yeah, I think that's what it's like. But I mean, yes, obviously Thon looked different, but it was still a tremendous experience this year. Like media relations, as I said, it was a little team. So we were able to be together, just the 6 of us, because we were all safe about it, got tested, made sure we're all good. And
You're good.
it was really just like a 46-hour slumber party, and we were all just doing the same work.
A 46-hour slumber party.
Honestly, that's pretty much how Thon usually
That's the way
is.
to answer it.
It isn't Thon always just
except it's not a slumber party because you are awake.
That's the point of slumber parties. You never go to sleep at them.
That's
Stay up all
true.
night. So Thawne is really just a 46-hour slumber party. The only thing that was different about it this year is that instead of putting all, like 30,000 people together in one spot, we just split them up a little bit. It's no big deal.
They were more private slumber parties.
Yeah, they were more. You needed an invite. That's all.
Yeah. And Go-Go Gadget performed virtually.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah.
But come on. We're trying to focus on the highlights.
So we do have a few questions that we typically ask every person. So if you're ready to move into
Yeah,
those,
we're gonna wrap a little early today. Schedules are busy, so we're gonna be
Yeah.
a little short, but it's fine. It's not that we don't love you.
My first question has nothing to do with anything I've ever asked before, but what was your sister's? I know you said she was Thawne 2021, so sorry, Thawne 2014. So sorry. What was her like go-to phrase? Like what was the chorus of her line dance? Do you remember?
Oh.
I
Yeah,
might be
it
able to help you
it
out.
was Break It Down, BJC, Bring It Back to You and Me.
Wait, that was your sister's?
No, it wasn't. Hold on.
That's
I was gonna say, that was
2019,
like
buddy.
20
No, I can't believe I messed it up. Oh, well.
I'm looking it up. Thawne 2014 line dance lyrics. Here we go. On Onward State.
Oh wait, it's her. Yeah, I found the video. It's
Yeah,
her.
that's
That's
my
your sister.
Does she have like long brown hair?
Yep, that's her.
Okay.
Hey, Thawne, bust a move. Turn it up now, freeze. Jump, shout, let's get loud. DJ, drop that beat. For the kids, we be rocking, dancing. We're never stopping. One day we'll celebrate. Until then, fight on stage. Love that.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was hype.
That's my favorite just because it was my sister and she helped make it. And that was like my first exposure to Thawne. So that was my favorite.
Is that wait, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Believe beyond or something possibilities.
Yeah, it was. Oh, why am I forgetting it? Or redefine the possibilities.
Oh, okay. Yep. If I remember correctly, Thawne 2014 was like a pretty big year.
That's 2016, Bobby.
I was there. I swear. Is it the one with the hot air balloon?
Yes.
I have the shirt. It's downstairs. I was
Yeah.
gonna be so sweet. I was gonna pull it over. If anyone's listening and not watching, I ran over and grabbed the wrong shirt for the wrong year because I'm dumb.
Why is Thawne 2014 sticking out to me as like a big year? Maybe it was it was like a
It was the total.
$13,000
That
year.
was
And that's what it was.
13,000. Yeah, we made $13,000 that year.
13 million. Jeez, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That was I think that was the most Thawne's ever raised in a year, which is cool.
Okay, that's why it's sticking out. Got it. Neat. Okay, and then the other question that I usually, I guess this is the only question that I usually ask because we don't usually have the morale captain's brother on the podcast, if you can imagine. What are some things that you think will be in the line dance next year? We asked this to everyone, so like current events. You know what the line dance is, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, I have a list on my phone.
Yeah, Mike got a
Oh,
little
this is
warning.
awesome! Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Oh,
Also,
definitely.
do you
First,
know-
I need to find it, but the first thing comes the Suez Canal. That's gotta be
Evergreen,
it.
baby, the evergreen.
Oh, what did I?
My list
Line
is so
dance.
short it's memorized at this point. Right now, because there's nothing too big going on yet. I
And
guess
poor
that's-
Maggie probably hears it every week when we just
Oh,
read
yeah.
these.
She's the only
Maggie's one
listener.
of our only listeners.
Yeah. So, I have 3 things on the list, like
Okay.
just notable things. The vaccine distribution, I think, is probably
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
mentioned because this past year was what it was. I think vaccine distribution is a key point of the year. Suez Canal is kind of funny.
Yes.
I think that'll be included. And I really hope the baby meme that's going on right now, like on TikTok,
Mike,
that's hilarious. I
you
hope that
missed
ends up.
the easiest one.
What I missed?
You missed the easiest one. How is this not on your list?
What?
Did you
Tell me.
know that the Chick-fil-A in the hub
Ugh,
is going to be no more after this semester?
Oh,
That is
forgot
very
about
upsetting.
that.
Put it on the list,
I
Mike.
don't want
There's-
to. I don't want to hear that in the line dance. Like that's.
It's gonna be in it, dude. It's gonna
Taco
be in
Bell
it.
Vigil. The Taco Bell Vigil made
Taco
it.
Bell Vigil. Bye bye ABP.
Yeah.
Mm.
like it's there.
Yeah, that's true. That might get a whole verse on its own.
Yeah, they just all of the Penn State trivia is just Chick-fil-A leaving.
Wow,
You
I
know,
forgot about Chick-fil-A leaving. That's
Put it in the
really
list.
I don't know if
Start
this will be on.
collaborate.
I don't know if this will be on next year's or the year after, but isn't President Barron retiring? So
He
maybe
is. That's a
maybe
good
that
point.
isn't he retiring like next June though, like right after we graduate. So maybe it
Maybe.
won't be until like the following 2023 one, unless they like
probably.
mention that he will be
They
retiring.
they
But
might
that'll definitely be in there.
they might name the next president before next dawn.
Oh, that's a good point. So
Because
maybe that'll be
if they were to name it like end of fall semester, I could totally see that getting put in.
yeah.
Oh,
And
I
was
just
it
thought of
before?
another. I thought of another one.
Yeah.
Penn State basketball hired a new coach.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a
Shrewsbury.
good one.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
that'll be in there.
You know what? I wonder what they're gonna name after President Barron.
What did
'Cause
they
they
do
usually-
after Rodney Erickson? Wasn't he the one before
Maybe.
President?
I don't
Barron?
know. I know there's like one president who like doesn't have anything named after them,
Rodney Erickson.
but a lot of them do, like Thomas buildings named after a president.
What was his
A
name?
lot of something Thomas.
I'm so funny.
I'm trying.
I don't know.
to
I bet you it'll be one of the new halls that they'll put up in
yeah.
East probably.
Oh, that would be
Called
such a shame to name a hall after him. Like
Barron
the
Hall.
halls get so gross. I mean, I know they're nice now, but they won't be nice forever. I wonder, like, is there any? Someone said maybe they'll name what did he teach in before?
They might
I don't know.
rename
Earth
something.
science maybe, because I know. I mean, I'm a business student and
Earth and Mineral Sciences.
yeah, I think that's what he taught him. But like we were saying, like, oh, maybe they'll name the business school after him because the business school still doesn't have a name. But that wouldn't really make sense. Maybe it would make more sense for him to be named after like the Earth and Mineral Science, which I don't know.
IST also doesn't have a name yet.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Isn't business Smeal?
Yeah, so it's the Smeal College of Business, but our building isn't called. It's just the business building. It's not like the Barron Business Building or like the Thomas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That has a ring to it.
They
The
say that.
BB.
The BB.
Yeah, they say that no one's made a big enough money contribution, so they won't name it after anyone until they do.
Yeah, I think that's the same as IST because they just changed it to. It used to be the IST Bridge, and now it's Westgate Building.
Yeah.
That will not stay Westgate. Someone's gonna drop like 25, 30 million, and it's gonna become the someone building.
It's gonna be you,
Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah, when I
There you
become
go.
famous, I will drop. No, if I'm dropping 30 mil, it's
It'll
to
be on
Thon,
Thon.
not to
Yeah.
not to Penn State. Sorry,
King.
and they'll be happy with it.
You
It'll
know
be
what?
a anomaly of a year when we hit 40 mil, and they're like, "Wow, we really killed it, guys." And I'm like, "Yeah, you guys did. That was all you.
That's
30 of
funny.
it wasn't me."
Bob, you want to go ahead and ask your final question?
Yeah, Mike, you got a little bit of a teaser of this before when we were hanging out yesterday, but what does Thon mean to you?
What does Thon mean to me? I'm so glad you asked.
I don't feel like you're ready.
He had notes. He was writing them down.
Yeah. No. No. Thon. When I think of Thon, it's synonymous with the word hope. Like I think this past year, I think sums that up beautifully, poetically, if it could be said like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Like with a year that was just plagued with, so much things that just didn't go well. Plans changed, but Thon was still able to rise and unify and provide hope to the families, to the volunteers, to the community. Raising $10 million amongst a pandemic is incredible. And when I think of Thon, I think of the hope that it brings, how the courageous kids, how they fight and they have endless amounts of hope. That's what Thon means. What Thon means to me is Thon gives me hope for humanity.
That's awesome. That is a great answer. There's no bad answers to the question.
I was just
That
gonna
a good
say I've
one.
never heard
Yeah.
one where I'm like,
No.
ooh, that's not
Yeah.
it.
Right. No, and you're right because in a year of so much uncertainty. I think that's the word I would use to describe
Yeah.
2020. A year in so much uncertainty. Thawne was, you could be certain that Thawne would be there, and it would be there for whoever needed it, whatever reason they needed it, and I think that's enough, and it should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, absolutely. I love your phrasing there from a PR captain.
Yeah,
I think your phrasing there is on point.
thank you. I try my best to uphold Thawne's integrity on this podcast with
You're
my
pulling out your
phrasing.
words. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I got my Thawne shirt on too.
Let's go.
This is the the
That's the
pep
pep
rally
rally
shirt
shirt.
from this year. I don't know how it came into my ownership. I don't think I bought it. Maybe
I think
they
they gave
gave
it
it
away
to
for free.
committees. They might have gave it to committees, but
I
I
have one somewhere. Just
Thawne
because they,
weekend.
yeah,
It was like a blur to me. I just like, it was
Same.
Thursday night, and then I like blinked and I woke up Monday, and I was like, oh, it happened. It was so crazy, right? I don't remember like 75% of it just because of how much I was running around. I was awake for way longer than I probably should have been. Um, and it was awesome. It was fantastic. But yeah, I just like had this shirt in my apartment. I was like, oh, cool. How did this get
I've
there?
got that shirt somewhere too.
I was like cleaning on like Thursday after Thawne. I was like, it was on my couch. I was like, what is this? This is cool. But yeah,
You guys should have planned to match.
yeah, we should have. Oh, we could have twinned.
You're
All
right.
right. Well,
Well,
in the interest of time and our schedules, we are going to wrap there for today. Mike, before we go, is there anything that we either, didn't bring up that you wanted to talk about, or any questions you have for us?
No, I think I am blown away. I had no idea that this podcast existed, to be honest. I think this is awesome that you guys put this together. Um, I I've been listening to it the past couple. Well, I guess since you mentioned it to me, Bobby.
Yeah.
that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, I think it's really awesome that you guys are doing this, providing a voice from inside the Thon community, whether that be through Heal or just captains or volunteers or alumni. I think that's fantastic. So props to you guys. Props to you guys. You guys are
stop
great.
it.
Thank
You're
you.
too good to
And
us.
I'm honored that you'd allow me to come on here and
Oh, well,
speak on my experience.
Mike, honestly, I can't wait till the next time you're back.
Hey, I mean, can't wait.
There's always a second shot on the HEALcast.
There
Let's
is.
go.
There's always more experience to stay here.
I'll be looking forward to that call
Oh yeah,
or
good.
text message or
Yeah.
Snapchat.
Or Snapchat. Yeah, I usually Snapchat Mike. Anyways, that's gonna be it from us at the HEALcast for this week. Thank you all so much for listening along on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you're listening.
Google
If you
Podcast.
Google
or
Podcast,
YouTube.
yeah, or if you're watching on YouTube, I hope my hair looked good today. I showered early, so it would dry out and look all right. So let me know in
Wow.
the comments. Hit me up. But that's it from us. Thank you again so much, Mike, for hanging out. I know it was a little tough schedules this week, but I'm glad we got this in. Super excited to just hear your story, and hopefully everyone else can hear it too. But until next time, everyone at home, thank you so much, and keep on dancing.